more romance? This guy sucks. I mean, he's kind of self-aware enough. Is that a breakthrough? Let's go see if we can find some horses. No. Yep. I don't know if I just have no sympathy. That would not make me want to date someone. Nope. Good evening, spooks, and happy Valentine's Day, or Valentine's Day Eve, if you celebrate. And you should, even if you don't have romantic love for somebody else. We can all do a little bit more of loving our friends, loving our family, and loving ourselves. Put yourself right at the top. Insert yourself here. Thank you. Love yourselves. I would like to chat with you just a little bit before we get going on this vlog, and I'm going to talk to you about love. Romantic love, to be exact. And I've made reference to this in, I think, a festive vlog last year, but I am not really a romance reader and haven't ever really been. I went through my John Green era when I was younger, as I think most of us did. But as I got older, I perhaps didn't have the most loving relationships and wasn't perhaps loved in the way that I would like to be loved. And it led me to dislike romance, or romance by itself. So if romance was included in festive films, festive books, I didn't mind it as much because I could suspend my disbelief enough just to enjoy the festivities. Or if there was an epic fantasy film or book, or if there was a drama or a thriller, a horror, anything with romance as a subplot, I could get with that. But focusing on romance solely just left me in disbelief, because I was like, people don't act like that around each other. People don't actually selflessly love one another. What do you mean? This is a lie. I wasn't quite so dramatic to say that love is created by card companies, but I'm pretty sure at some point in my life I have unironically made that statement. I've not had a good time romantically until the last several years where I've been with my partner and we are happy mushy in love. And I have learned what it is to be loved with respect and loved as I should be loved. And so the love that I give, which is in abundance all the time, is appreciated and respected and reciprocated. And that's some Jess law for you, okay? But that leads us to this video right here, in which I'm going to read/listen to 3 romance novels that have caught my attention recently. And as far as I'm aware, these are romance as the plot, not romance subplot like romantasy. These are romance novels. Let's talk about books. First up, I will be reading, or have read already, but I'm coming to you from the future, Flawless by Elsie Silver. Now, before picking this up, I was led to believe that this is a sports romance, a western romance, and it is doing the rounds. I haven't plugged in my microphone. Can you hear me? The whole time I was setting up my camera in this precarious position it's currently in, because I don't have a tall enough tripod at the moment, I said to myself, do not forget to attach the microphone. And what have I done? I have forgotten to attach the microphone. So if the sound up till now wasn't great, it should now be better. I will try and mess around with it in editing, but I was saying, I've seen this book doing the rounds on the internet through BookTube, BookTok, Bookstagram. Everyone is raving about it, and I trust the romance girlies. So I picked it up, and I think I bought it from the works, and it was maybe £3.50, so it was a bit of a bargain, and I gave it my best shot. This book is about Summer, and Summer works at her dad's PR firm, and one of their clients is Rhett the bull rider, and he's currently got himself into a sticky situation because his biggest sponsor produce milk. It's not a cow, but I guess they're a farm or something, or a milk company, I don't know. Cravendale, how does it work? And he says very publicly that he hates milk, and so there's this big uproar. He's going to lose his sponsor, and her dad sends her in to kind of freshen up this guy's image, and yeah, you guessed it, they fall in love with each other. So that's the premise of this one. The next book that I'm going to be picking up in this video is an audiobook, and I'm going to be listening to Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Is it by Alexis Hall? Correct me if I'm wrong. I wanted to have some diversity in this video because I do find that a lot of the romances that are shouted loudly tend to be straight white romances, and I wanted to have something that was the white British, white American that we're seeing everywhere at the moment, and also something queer, and then also something that isn't white British, white American. Okay, good, we're on the same page. So this is a queer romance. There are two men that fall in love with each other. It has the fake dating trope. Now, I will be real, I love the fake dating trope. I find that so giddy, fun, exciting, because you just know they're gonna fall in love with each other. But they start off being kind of bickery, they've got banter, and then they fall in love. And I like that trope, so I was very excited to pick this one up, and you'll have to see my thoughts at the end. The premise with this one, the fake dating comes about because our main character, whose name I have immediately forgotten. Our main character, Lucien, has very famous parents. They were rock stars back in the 80s, and he's kind of got a bit of a bad boy image where he goes to nightclubs, he gets very drunk, he gets very high, he has sex down alleyways with strangers, and the only job he can currently find to kind of break out on his own is at a charity, and they're trying to save endangered beetles. And this is the only job that he could get, and basically he needs to improve his image so sponsors of the charity won't fall through. That sounds quite similar to the first one, but it's not. And so one of his colleagues has this idea that he's like, why don't you get a boyfriend that's very respectable, so you can be seen with this boyfriend, be seen to be doing respectable things, and your image and your reputation will improve. So cue Oliver. We bring in Oliver, who is a barrister. They have friends of friends, so they kind of vaguely know each other. And the two of them navigate this fake dating world and learn more about each other, learn more about their lives. And you know, I guess maybe they might fall in love at the end. The third book I'm going to read in this video is Never Date a Roommate by Paula Ottoni. But this one, again, it literally says on the back, fake dating. So again, I was excited to read this one. This book follows Sol, and Sol is from Brazil, and she moves to Copenhagen to have her dream life. She's found her dream career, she's a game designer, and she relocates all the way to Copenhagen to have this dream life. But it's not all as it seems. She struggles to find somewhere to live. Eventually she does, and her roommate is this brisk, rude, grumpy Viking man. And at her job, she really wants to go for this promotion. However, her boss is a little bit quirky, and he's like, there are a few people that deserve this promotion, so we're going to have kind of a, I mean, it's like Hunger Games, but a little lighter. And no one dies, no one dies. And we're going to pit you against each other just for a bit of fun and see who really deserves this promotion. It's a weird way of going about it, don't get me wrong. What she soon learns is that her boss very much favours people who are in very stable relationships, have husbands, wives, lifelong partners, have children, have lived here for a very long time, all of which Sol does not have and is not. She is single, she has not lived there for very long, and she is renting a room from somebody she doesn't know. Cue a little fake dating moment. So Sol and her grumpy roommate decide to pair up together and fake date their way through these Hunger Games. And I guess maybe they fall in love or something. Can you sense a pattern here? Okay, less of that. Let's crack into me reading the books, and I'll catch up with you in a bit and tell you my thoughts, okay?
You showed up at my door unannounced. Stayed up all night until the sun came around. How long will it be until you figure out you're more than just a friend? I need you around. I know I can love you right. Don't give it up before you even try. I won't rush. No, we can take our time. Don't wanna cross a line, but would you be mine? We don't need to rush, we can slow it down. Say anything you want, you can get it down. How long will
I am on page 105, so I'm a quarter of the way through the book. I think it's a 400-page book, and I'm not disliking it. I'm not really enjoying it either. I feel like all the problems they're overcoming are just really mundane. There are a couple of cute moments. Let me see what I can find. So I have enjoyed seeing things from Rhett's point of view. You get snippets like this, where it says, when they're mad, it means they care about you. They want better for you. They know you're capable of better. when they're indifferent like this, it's almost like they expected you to blow it. And I quite like that. He's like very dry and very funny. They're both very dry and very funny. She is extremely stubborn and I like it because it makes for some really funny conversations between the two of them. It's kind of a silly fun time so far. I'm trying to find the bit that was annoying me. I mean, he's kind of self-aware enough to say things like this. Am I having a minor internal temper tantrum over it? Maybe. Which I do quite like to see because he doesn't take himself too seriously, and he does take himself seriously, but he knows that he takes himself seriously and can make fun of that, if that makes sense. I also enjoyed this part here, which felt like it was almost poking fun at the trope, because she says, like narrates anyway, God, he's really got this wounded, insecure little boy routine down. And I like that because that felt to me, up until that point, that's what he was doing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of icky. But the fact that she points it out and she's like, okay, we're not going to play like that. I enjoyed. This bit annoyed me. Okay, so without giving you major spoilers or far too much information that you may be not interested in, he is having a PR nightmare at the moment because his biggest sponsor, he's a bull rider by the way, and his biggest sponsor is something to do with milk. I don't know what it is, but he basically publicly slated milk and said that milk's disgusting, I hate it. And he's just admitted to her that he had to drink like raw milk from a cow when he was a kid. And he's like light about it. But he's like, oh my God, it was disgusting, I'm traumatized. And then her narration was, did we just have some sort of breakthrough? It seems like it. And I'm like, really? He just said like, I don't like milk because I had to drink raw milk as a kid. Is that a breakthrough? It just feels a little dull. Oh yeah, the other thing that it's setting up to annoy me is that she just suddenly drops in via narration that she's just broken up with somebody and he broke her heart basically, but then she's saying, but right now my heart feels just fine, and she's expressing interest in Rhett the bull rider, and I'm just like, are we gonna relationship hop? Because I'm assuming, this is a romance, I'm assuming at the end her and the bull rider get together, and I just don't like the trope of a new love interest healing your heart from a breakup, but I'm not enjoying it. Enjoy that double negative. It's good, and I want to know what's going to happen. It's written, like, it's not written badly. The characters are, like, spicy, and I don't mean, like, sexy spicy. They're just kind of, like, they're dry, they're sarcastic, they're stubborn, and so they're not perfect, which is nice to see, obviously. I'm interested to see what the third act breakup, I'm interested to see where that goes, because at the moment I can't tell how they're going to annoy each other and how they're going to fall out, so that'll be quite interesting to see how that bit's done. And yeah, the fact that this is a Western romance, but also like a sports romance and contemporary romance and all of the romances. But I'm focusing on the Western just for a moment because this has made me want to go to a ranch or go to a farm, I guess, if we're talking UK. I have some time to kill and I'm going to go for a walk where I think I know some horses are, and I'm going to go see if I can see some horses. Let's go see if we can find some horses. Let's go. What I really like is that Rhett is a gentleman and wants to take care of everybody except himself, but especially wants to take care of Summer. And what I really like is that Summer just does not need or want him to take care of her. She's happy to take care of herself, and that makes for just some really tension-filled fun moments where Summer is being stubborn and is like, I can do this myself, and by the way, yes you can. And on the other side, Rhett is like, just let me fix this for you. And she's like, no, you don't need to. And he's like, well, okay then. That's how I imagine pretty much every conversation going between them. And I'm here for it. Okay, chapter 19 has kind of got me annoyed. I was actually having kind of a good time and giggling along, but there's been a minor misunderstanding, which is fine. That bit's not annoying, but Summer has kind of flirted with another guy, and Rhett has just gone in his own words, Neanderthal. Like, she puts on this other guy's cowboy hat and he storms across a bar and let me find the expression. So basically she has put this hat upon her head and she's like offering him, this random guy, a body shot. So she's putting a shot glass between her boobs, basically. So it says, Summer is tucking a shot into her cleavage when I get to her and knock that fucking hat right off her head. That is so unnecessarily aggressive. If a man came up to me and like smacked a hat off my head, I would probably never speak to him again. Are you serious? Like, with anger as well? It's not like he's just playing, he's angry. No. I think they're about to hook up and it's just like, really? That got her going? That's not even protective, that is possessive. Oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for me.
I've always loved the way you look at me. Stare at the stars, feel the summer breeze.
Nope. Nope. I cannot read that out loud. I read it in my head and that was bad enough. The face I pulled, no. There is nothing sexy about that. I'm sorry, that is nasty. Swallow Summer. No. It's so bad. Maybe I'm just not built for romance novels. Maybe I'm not built for sexy romance novels. I think that might be the problem. I'm cringing.
Taking my time to align all the thoughts in my head. If you need me, I'll be waiting for you. If you want me, nothing I wouldn't do.
I ran out of pink tabs and I'm having to use red tabs. And that's not because they're red flags, although they kind of are. This is getting progressively worse. I'm on page 371 out of, 400? I don't know how this is going to get better in less than 30 pages. Rhett is so immature. Like, he obviously really cares about her, but the way he shows it is so damaging. Like, he is angry at everything and everyone and takes it out on her. Like, he says something so unforgivable. Hang on. I feel like, I'll get there, but I feel like throughout the book, Summer has done so much growing. Like, she stood up to her stepmom who's been cruel to her entire life. She's just got to a point where her dad is telling her to stop working for him so she can go and follow her dreams, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna step out and do that. Like, she's really made some really good changes throughout the book, and I feel like he's just got progressively worse. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but he flies off the handle at one point, gets really angry, punches the guy in the face, all in his words, for, like, to protect her. She says to him, what you did tonight doesn't feel like you caring about me. It feels like you losing control and flying off the handle. She then tells him to go home. Then they meet up again after this big blow up thing, and she's basically saying, you are really injured. You should not be bull riding anymore. And he says, we slept together for a couple of weeks, Summer. Don't tell me what to do. Are you kidding me? And yeah, he says, I hate myself instantly, but you said that because you feel that. I do believe that the words you say when you're angry, you still mean them. And I just think that sort of attitude is unforgivable. But she does make a lot of excuses for him all the time. She's like, we spent weeks together, traveling, working out, eating. He gave me his last chicken wing and let me warm my feet on him without complaint. Girl, the bar is on the floor. Milo, the bar is on the floor. This is a romance? I'm supposed to be rooting for these people to get together? I'm really not. This guy sucks. Yeah, I just don't know how this is going to get any better in 30 pages. Okay, I'm on Rhett's chapter. And look, I get that we are all flawed and nobody is perfect. And when you choose to be with somebody and you love somebody, you accept them for all of their flaws. My issues are he has issues and he's not working on them. He is ignoring them, and then it builds up into a big explosive anger and she gets obliterated like collateral damage. You're so beautiful. I would accept you for all your issues. You are a bit of a dick, actually. Isn't he like a bit of a dick? Actually, you're worse. He's worse, isn't he? You need therapy.
I hope you're feeling it too. Will you take my hand so we can run away? Save our problems for another day. Yeah.
You're so beautiful. I am 33% of the way through Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. And yep, I'm really enjoying it. It is just like watching a rom-com where the humour is actually good. So I love a festive romance, like a Hallmark movie festive film. And I think we all know by now, more often than not, they are straight and they are white. But you know the film Single All the Way, where we have black characters, where we have gay characters. It is like the elite level of festive romance film. And the humour in it, that's the point I'm making. The humour in it is genuinely funny. The banter between the characters feels genuine, and there's flirty banter and there's arguments or disagreements that feel honest. Whereas sometimes in Hallmark movies, the flirting is so timid and clean. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this feels like the non-festive version of Single All the Way, where it is just genuinely funny banter between queer characters. And I'm just eating it up. We're eating it up, aren't we? I'm also just really interested to know what happens. It's got the fake dating trope, which I love a fake dating trope, and I'm just really invested in the story. The side characters are also very funny. There's maybe 2 characters I'm not sure on, so there are a lot of side characters from the main character, and he's got a group of friends that are just really funny and very interesting. They all have very distinctive personalities, which is quite rare. And then he's got one colleague who feels a little bit like a caricature because they're supposed to be a bit ditzy, and we've just met this character's fiance as well, and she is just the same. I'm hoping there's more to that storyline and it's not just to really... Oh. Rejection? In the month of love? Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't continue too much or doesn't get any worse, because it was kind of funny to start with and that's a little bit old. But otherwise, 33% of the way through and really, really enjoying it. Very excited to see how it goes.
This recording of Boyfriend Material was presented by Dreamscape Media LLC.
I know in the end it'll be okay. It's you and me, girl, there's no other way. Yeah, yeah, I need you to promise that you'll stay. We'll never run out of things to talk about. I don't know how I ever lived without you holding me in the night. Feel alive knowing that if you need me, I'll be waiting for you. If you want me, nothing I wouldn't do. I hope you're feeling it too. Will you?
So I am on page 138 of Never Date a Roommate. That rhymes. And we are learning what the male love interests like hold up is, you know, when they've got this thing that they're broody about and the other love interest is trying to dig it out of them. He's finally revealed what it is and her reaction is, oh Eric, I'm so sorry you went through all of this. Oh Eric, I want to come closer and comfort him. But it's so minor. I don't know if I just have no sympathy, but all it was is that he had a bad breakup. That's kind of it. I mean, he does get betrayed by a friend later to do with a work thing, and that's rude as heck. That would make me angry and super hurt. But this is just like he was dating somebody and it got a little complicated, and then he basically focused too much on his work and neglected her, and so she went away. And the sympathy that this woman is giving him is so over the top. And it just... And maybe this is my problem with romance novels. I don't know if this is like a common setup, but I'm now thinking we're halfway through the book. We're almost halfway through the book. And we're hearing about how he's so upset about this woman that he recently dated. And I assume these two are going to end up together. So that's how we meet someone. We meet them and they're like, I am so hung up on this previous partner. Oh my gosh, I'm still heartbroken. It's so complicated. And you're then gonna date them? That would not make me want to date someone. I don't know. I don't know if this is built for me. I don't know if I'm cut out for... I just don't know if romance is for me. If this is like a common recipe. Okay.
Take my hand so we can run away. Save our problems for another day. Yeah, I know in the end it'll be okay. It's you and me, girl. There's no other way. Yeah, take my hand so we can run away. Save our problems for another day.
Flawless. I gave this my all. I really tried. And for the most part, I think until things got spicy, I was kind of invested. The build-up was great, the banter was funny. I was coming along for a good time. And then it started to get spicy, and I'm not opposed to spice scenes in books. I don't look for them. They're not really my thing, but it also won't deter me from reading a book, and it won't bring my rating down. I just kind of just read through them and accept them as they are, because I'm not the intended audience for that. So rating it low because there's a spicy scene would be cruel, because I knew it was in there. So not bothered about the spicy scenes, fine, apart from it revealed part of Rhett's character that I just did not like. He came across as so possessive, so aggressive, and I know that some people find his gruff nature sexy, but I just thought he was rude. I was like, red flag, run away from this man. And as always, there was the third act breakup scene, and I hated how he spoke to her. I think that he did this thing where he's like, I've got to say this to hurt her so that she'll walk away. And I hate that, by the way. Hate when people have to do that in books, or films, or life, I don't know. It feels so unnecessary, just be honest. But yeah, I think what he actually said to her was unforgivable, and that really ruins it for me. I know Emily Fox on YouTube has said this about another book before, and it sits in my mind all the time. If my friend came to me and said, this is what my boyfriend has said to me, I would be telling her to run a mile. I'd be like, no, we don't forgive that, we don't forgive that. And so I'm treating main characters in books like my friends. We're friends, right? Summer, are we not friends? Then walk away. So I just really struggled to be invested in the romance as they then got back together. This isn't a spoiler, it is what it is, it's a romance, you know what's going to happen. So it was, I guess, the ending, if I ignored the red flags, the ending was sweet, and I liked how they brought it back together. That was well done. I just couldn't forgive the red flags. So for me, as a romance, it can't sit any higher than a 2 stars. It just couldn't. And I'm disappointed because I really wanted to get on the Elsie Silver hype train. I'm going to a book club and they're reading an Elsie Silver book next month, and I'm like, I can't do it to myself. And I'm really disappointed. 2 stars. Next up, I finished Boyfriend Material. And as you will have seen from the clips, the second I finished it, it was like, hey, do you want to listen to the sequel? Husband Material? Yes, I do. Yes, I absolutely do. Because this was incredible. This had, I've already said it in my clips before, but it felt like genuine banter, genuine romance. It wasn't just kind of everything wasn't flirty. It had kind of annoyed banter, and that's what I usually love about fake dating, because they don't want to date each other at the start, and that's my favourite part, because you then get some really good banter, and then it softens, and then we've got feelings involved. And then there's the complexities around dealing with these feelings you suddenly have that you don't know if the other one has. Are they still faking? Because you're not faking anymore. And I love all that, and I love how it was handled in this book. It does help that it's got queer characters. I am queer, I look for queer characters in my literature, and I naturally just enjoy that more. So that wasn't included in my rating for the straight romances, because straight romances have their place in the industry. Queer romances have their place in the industry. I just personally would be more interested in reading a queer romance. So I did very much enjoy the fact that this was 2 men and they got involved with each other. We were introduced to all of their friends. Simon? Oliver the barrister, most of his friends were straight. But then Lucien, most of his friends, 90% of his friends, were queer. So we got these big personalities, these big queer lives that I just love being a part of, I love seeing. So I loved all of the side characters. I mentioned at one point that one character, his colleague, was a little bit like a caricature, and his fiance was the same. But honestly, we don't see much of the fiance. We do get quite a lot of the colleague though, and the colleague just, I really warmed to him. I really warmed to him. The fact that I thought he was kind of ditzy and it was a caricature of ditzy is true, and that kind of continues, but he does end up helping him out quite a lot without quite realising, and so it was quite tongue-in-cheek funny how they did that. And I enjoyed it. One other thing that I failed to mention when I'm talking about this book is that this is a closed door romance, or like a door ajar romance, which I very much enjoyed. So this one for me was a 4-star. It was done so well. It felt like I was genuinely following two very complex characters that have a lot of issues, a lot of dramas in their lives, a lot of baggage, a lot of feelings, but at the end we did indeed have feelings for each other, and it was a very sweet ending, and I'm interested to read the husband material. Am I gonna get to see a wedding? I hope so. Finally, for this video, I read Never Date a Roommate. Again, fake dating trope, as I said in the intro, and I did enjoy this one more than Flawless. I think because the characters, whilst they had issues and they didn't always handle themselves very well, I didn't find that either of them were problematic. So when they end up together, that's so much easier to digest because I'm not yelling at her, run for the hills, I'm not yelling at him, run for the hills. Everyone was just kind of, okay, we've got some problems and we're gonna deal with them in a healthy way. And there's some miscommunication, but it's nothing major. I mostly just kind of didn't believe the romance. I think that's my only major problem with this one, is that I just wasn't invested. I didn't think that the male main character would be interested in the female main character. I think that her only interest in him was that he's beautiful Viking man. That's all she ever says, like he's this big, big man. And that's how she ends up, she falls in love with him before she even really gets to know him. So I have to believe that she's only falling in love with him for his looks. Fine, I guess, it's more lust than love, but okay. And then anything she learns about him afterwards is just kind of cherry on the top of the cake. But the author has done that thing where, and I mentioned it in a previous clip, where we need to learn something about the characters for the other character to really care about them and to like have sympathy for them. But it was so minor. The thing that we're concerned for him is so minor. And flipping it around, she has this rich history of struggling. Like she's lived in, not exactly poverty, but she's come from a place where her family have struggled to make money, to make ends meet. And so she's branched out and has this career-defining moment where she might get this promotion, she might not. She's very talented in the field of what she does. And her life is so interesting. And then we have this man who we know very little of. We don't know much about his family life, his history. All we know is he had a friend who betrayed him. Yes, that sucks. He was interested and kind of half dating a girl, so it hadn't got very far, and then she moved away, and it broke his heart. Fair enough, we've all had a heart broken, that sucks. But they were not betrothed, we were not together forever, years had not gone by, and I just felt like I couldn't really feel sorry for him that much. But the way that the female main character spoke about his trauma was, she was like, I'm so sorry you went through this, like heartbroken for him. And I just wasn't buying it. So then when they got together, I was like, cool, I guess, like if you're happy, go off, but I wouldn't be yelling from the rooftops, you know? I just wasn't excited, is the problem. It was not problematic, and I think the right sort of person would enjoy it. I perhaps wasn't the intended audience, so nothing wrong with it really at all. The spice scenes were much better than the ones in Flawless. They weren't like aggressive, at bare minimum. The bar is on the floor, but it was okay, so I'm rating this one 3 stars. And those are all the books that I have read for Valentine's Day. I am not opposed to picking up more romance in the future. I'm definitely going to be reading the sequel to the boyfriend material, and I possibly won't pick up another Elsie Silver. However, there are a few romances that I'm kind of interested in reading, where romance, again, is the subplot, or is maybe, no, that's a lie, where romance is the main plot, but there then is another subplot. So I think I just need maybe something to keep me more engaged. I've recently discovered that I quite enjoy reading romantasy because you have the world building, you have dragons, you have drama, and then there's also someone falling in love with somebody, and I'm kind of here for that. So the few books that I'm interested in picking up soon are The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, because this has a little bit of a fantasy element, obviously because afterlife, so you might be interested in reading that. You're the Problem, It's You, nice Taylor Swift reference there by the way, by Emma R. Alban, because this is a historic romance. So again, I just want something else sprinkled in there to pique my interest. I'm kind of trying different subplots to see what my jam is. And finally, Destiny Sidwell, who I follow on YouTube. I see her as my romance guru. She reads lots of other genres, but romance is something that I see featured on her channel a lot. And she made reference to a book that comes out in June, Sounds Like Love. And this is a romance, but it has a magical realism element. And I love magical realism. So very interested to see what this one is like. So there's a few that I have kind of on my horizons where it dabbles in romance, but it has something else going on. But romance is the main plot. I've enjoyed doing this challenge. It's been very eye-opening. I've had kind of like a giggly fun time, especially at the start of those books where things are kind of heating up, and Boyfriend Material is just great all round. But for now, I think I would like to go pick up something spooky. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in a video very, very soon. Bye!
Let me show you a place where you gon' wanna move.